Hello, everyone. This is ex Bethelite here, and Jehovah's Witnesses as an organization has got to be the worst there is as an organization as far as Christianity is concerned. That organization, by any Christian standard, has got to be the worst. Now, let me preference that by saying there are individual members of that group. There are people in that group that are very good people, and there are people in that group that could be Christian. What do you mean by that? Well, as an organization, you could compare the Jehovah's Witnesses to the Mormon group. The Mormon group is a group that some people deem not to be Christian. Well, when you look at what this organization does as far as the community is concerned, there are food drives, there are food pantries. We're talking about the Mormon church. There is a social network there where people in that group who are suffering, who may have lost a job, may have fallen on hard times, these people are provided food and necessities. And I have seen this personally. I have seen Mormons go to the park, and it'll be a group of young people at that could be doing anything, but I've seen a group of Mormons go to the park and clean the park up. We could look at the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church blows the Jehovah's Witnesses out of the water with regards to building hospitals, charities. There are people in communities that eat because this organization has set up things influenced by Jesus Christ and his example in the Bible that has influenced them to do things in the community that benefit that community, and that people would be much worse off without. I don't know if everyone knows this, but BYU, the college, BYU is a Mormon institute. It is a Mormon college. The Mormons we're comparing Jehovah's Witnesses to the Mormons because if you compare the Jehovah's Witnesses to the Catholic Church, Orthodox Church, other well-established churches, they're blown out of the water. What do I mean by that? The other churches have got seminaries, they've got hospitals, they have all kinds of things that benefit that community. The Jehovah's Witnesses do not have anything. They do not have a college that they have built. They do not have a homeless shelter that they've built. I've personally gone to a homeless shelter here in Ohio, and I believe that is a Catholic institution where people can come. You don't have to be Catholic. People can come. I guarantee you, if the Jehovah's Witnesses did build something, you'd have to be a Jehovah's Witness to be a member or be a part. But you don't have to be a Catholic to benefit from these services, to even join in and helping these services. I've been there. I've seen them personally. I think the average person probably thinks that it's common sense that Jehovah's Witnesses would do something for the community. It's a church, right? They may call it a kingdom hall, but it's the same concept. It's a religious place of worship, right? So they must do things in the community. No, they don't do anything in the community but go from door to door passing out literature. That is it. I'm trying to figure out how you can even define that as a Christian thing. Like, that's all you have to do to be a Christian. I have seen people go from door to door and pass out flyers advertising for a gym membership. I've had the flyer sitting in my windshield in the car. I've seen the flyer, in the door of the house. This is not some major activity that a person couldn't do unless they were influenced by Jesus Christ. The concept that the organization itself is the standard for Christianity, because that's what they're saying. They're not saying that they are a religious organization. They are saying they are the Jehovah's Witnesses, what we're talking about, are saying that they are the religious organization. Granted, the Mormons do as well, but they at least have something to stake that claim off of. Look at what we're doing in the community type of a thing. You would have that discussion with a Mormon. They will talk to you about their theology, of course, but if you say, well, what are you doing? Show me your fruits. You could have that discussion with a Mormon. Obviously, you can have that discussion with a Baptist, Catholic, some of these churches that are well established. Of course, you can have that discussion with them. And they can go and show you the youth groups and all kinds of different things that they have set up to benefit people. If you sat down a Jehovah's Witness, they would talk to you about their theology, and they would talk to you about the fact that they came to your door knocking with a magazine. There's no honest Jehovah's Witness. There's no honest Jehovah's Witness that would not try to deflect that, that would not. They would have to be honest with you. We go door to door. All around the world, there are, people going from door to door. And when I talk about that, they're not going door to door doing, charitable acts or anything like. They're passing out literature, trying to convert people. That is it. As an organization, that is the long-term activity that they are vested in. They may be able to show you a magazine where there is a one-time occurrence and some disaster where there may have been some aid or some help or something to that effect. But there is no long-term, long-standing. This is not something that they do. Most organizations, if you were to go inside, you don't see any religious paintings, no anything, really. And, these people just go from door to door. They don't do any charities. They don't do no youth groups, no anything. You wouldn't even think that it was Christian if they didn't tell you it was. Granted, when you sit down in that facility, they're going to be talking about the Bible and things like that. Granted. However, where are the fruits? Let's talk a little bit about Bethel, because Bethel has got to be, this is as high as it gets for a Jehovah's Witness, is to be accepted in their headquarters in New York, which they call Bethel. What is that? As far as the organization is concerned, it is a place where its members basically work for free. The average person on the street hearing about this probably would think of this as something like a Catholic monk or a Catholic nun, or a person who is dedicated to a religious lifestyle that is sponsored by that church or that organization. That's not what it is. Bethel, which is as high as it gets as a Jehovah's Witness. You also have missionaries, which they just full-time go door to door. But Bethel, which is as high as it gets, is nothing more than a place where people work. Like literally, there is an upholstery area. There is a shoe repair area. When I was working there, I was working in the warehouse, the food warehouse, driving forklifts, things like that. This is nothing compared to the religious life. It's supposed to be a religious order, which it's not really, because let's just be frank. You will be let go. You will be fired just like any job, a regular job. You don't hear about any nuns being fired. I've never heard about that. You don't hear about any people from other religious sponsored convents or anything like that, which is the same concept. A person who says, okay, I'm going to devote the rest of my life to this cause. I feel that strongly about it. And they then trust everything to that particular church and join the religious convent. Well, the equivalent to that for the Jehovah's Witnesses is Bethel, where the member dedicates everything, fully trusts that organization, and says, hey, I'm going to go to Bethel and do whatever I'm asked to do there at Bethel. What they're going to do is give you a job, and you're not paid. A person may say, well, that's religious life. Okay, that's true. However, how many Bethelites or people who were dedicated to serve at Bethel have been let go? Like literally laid off. They call it reassigned. There's a train going by. Obviously you heard that. There's a train going by. But they call it reassign. What that is the organization looking and saying, hey, we got to let some of these people go. We have to lay them off. They got to go somewhere. There's no job placement. There's no housing placement. There's no anything. I'm telling you, this organization does not do anything. I think they're making a cartoon now, and they're just now starting to really start broadcasting things online. But as far as Christian activity, that's not a Christian thing. It's to lure someone to come and serve and work and give up everything. They don't have a house. They don't have a job. And you use them and then kick them out or send them out. And I'm not talking about kicking them out because they're doing something bad. Just because we got too many people in this department, we need to get rid of some of them. This is what this organization is. I mean, it's honestly what this organization is from top to bottom. You don't see Christianity. You don't see Christ like anything. You see an organization hiding behind the image of Jesus Christ. Behind that, you have Bethel that uses and gets rid of people. And you have all these religious facilities called Kingdom Halls that are not involved in helping the community out in any way, shape, or form, other than going from door to door. This is the truth. This is what it is. Now, when I said that you have Christians that are, there are people who are good people that are Christians. There are people that don't realize what's going on. There's people that have been born and raised in that organization, and that organization does not allow them to visit other churches. They could get disciplined by the Jehovah's Witness organization, or they will be disciplined by the Jehovah's Witness organization if they step foot in another church. This is reality. This is real life what I'm talking here. The average person is like, what? This sounds crazy. They will be disciplined for stepping foot in a Baptist church just to hear the choir. They're not even supposed to listen to gospel music. So they don't know, a lot of them don't realize that there's so much more to Christianity than going door to door and reading material and then discussing it at the Kingdom Hall. That's why people who in their heart really are Christian, many times they don't feel satisfied. They never have that feeling of pure satisfaction that you'll have from not just a religious routine as far as prayer and study and things of that sort, but also going out and really helping the community. You know, looking someone in the eye that does not have and providing for them, helping them, you know, in a safe manner. Just letting people in your home. That's why they have these facilities, these shelters and things of that sort. The Jehovah's Witness that's an actual Christian never really feels that. All they do is just, well, I'll go out and do door to door for more hours. They actually record their hours. They're not just doing it. They're recording hours to report and hand in to their the Jehovah's Witness organization. This is when Russia is calling them extremist, you really need to look into the reasons why that might be. Don't just assume that because it's Russia and everything Russia does must be evil. Don't just assume that. Don't just assume that, well, they poked fun at the Orthodox Church. That might be part of it. But I'm going to mess around and be late for work. But also, too, it's very separatist, and they look at every church is evil. If you're a Baptist, they think your church is evil, and so on and so forth. I got to go. Ex-Bethelite signing out.